Hey guys, it's Siobhan Muir. Oh, I should probably move this down so you can see me a little bit better. I thought I would welcome you to the Saturday Evening Soliloquy on SMTV. Well, actually, it's on YouTube, but it is my version of SMTV. So welcome. Good evening. Thank you for joining me. As you can tell, I'm wearing my angry cat hat. Because today was at least in Cheyenne and in many cities around the U.S., it was the Women's March 2018. And one of the things we were doing is making sure that our voices were really heard. One of the things that has been becoming more and more prevalent is that it's pretty obvious that people aren't listening. And by people, I guess I'm falling into the same category as a lot of the population of the United States refers to people as the males in our society. Okay, people are men. There's women and then there's people. You don't do stuff to people, usually men, and women are victims. So we're trying to get people, hey, good evening. We're trying to get people to understand that we are actually here and doing stuff, and yes, we need some stuff to happen and changes to be made. Hi, Chandra. Sorry, I had to move some things there so I could actually see your name. Because I don't always see it. Anyways, I want to welcome you again. It was the Women's March today, and what I really like about the hat that I'm wearing is it actually looks like an angry cat. You know how cats flatten their ears and kind of like, I'm not taking any more of this. Well, that's kind of the way things are going in the United States right now. Is that the women are trying to get everyone, other women and men, everyone to understand that we have a voice and we really want you to understand. Hey, YS Books, welcome. So that's what's really going on tonight is that I'm recounting what happened today. It was what's really neat about doing it in Cheyenne is a little city, right? So it's not Chicago, it's not LA, it's not Vegas, it's not Seattle. Gosh, the images that are coming out of those cities of the Women's March today were like, you had how many people? and Cheyenne, while we are the capital city of Wyoming, we were a little city, and we put together a pretty good turnout considering it was 30 degrees Fahrenheit and cold. But it didn't snow. It hasn't started snowing yet, although we got freezing frost right now going on. But a lot of people came out. They had signs of various things. I saw one that said, the future is female. They're all on t-shirts, right? So the future is female, the future is female. I'm the brother of the future, and there's a little girl that was wearing I am the future. So it was really cool to see that. It was cool to see a man walking around holding a sign that says, the strong women in my life made me a better man. Yeah. It's important to know that without the balance of having women in the world, in the workforce, in the government, and everything, that the world will really suck. And so far, the leadership of men has not been real impressive, especially this last year. I mean, it doesn't mean that men aren't leaders, but they haven't been acting like it recently, and so now is the time where we need to, I guess, change it up. So, hey, Terry, welcome. So today we did the Women's March, and my sign said, karma is a bitch, and she has a long memory. Nasty women vote. We do. Whether we're nasty or not is irrelevant. The point is we do vote, and we do want our voices heard, and if they're not going to be heard, that's going to get ugly. So I was there to support this movement, because I really feel strongly that women are equal. And I live in the state that their state motto is equality. Now, it was equality at the very beginning. I'm not sure. I think they went back on it after they got ratified based on the women's ability to vote, but then they kind of went back on it, and we had the first woman governor back in 1910, I believe it was. I think that's the date I remember. And she got in as the governor because her husband, who had been the governor, died in office. So she took over and she kept going. And she actually was a pretty good governor for Wyoming. Now, has there been any women governors since then? No, ma'am. And so I do know that there's a candidate right now. Her name is Mary Throne. She is running for Wyoming state governor, and I'm going to do my best to help her. I've met her, and I've heard her perspective. She has been a legislator in the Wyoming state legislature, and she understands Wyoming. She understands the problems that the state is facing. She understands education issues and money issues and coal and gas and environmental issues, and she understands the people really well. And so I do believe she is a decent candidate. I'm not just helping her because she's a woman. I'm helping her because she knows the state, has been here long enough, understands the people, and happens to be a woman. So it's not just, oh, well, she's a woman, I'm going to vote for her. It's, is she a good candidate? And again, I don't care what party she runs for. It's irrelevant to me because I'm an independent, and I vote for the person who convinces me they can actually do the job. So far, that hasn't been very many Republicans. It doesn't mean they won't come up, but I'm looking for people, and that doesn't mean I vote Democrat. It means I vote for people who convince me. And so far, nobody has. But Mary's pretty good, and I've met her and I know her. So hey, Bern, hey, Nellie, welcome. I'm so glad to see you. So we got up early this morning, and we all got dressed in warm clothes, including our very warm hats, and we got our signs and headed down to the depot, the train depot down in downtown Cheyenne. And we met with our friends and neighbors, and we hoofed it all the way up to the Supreme Court. And then, too bad the candidate field keeps getting smaller and smaller. It does, Bern. I agree with you. And it's the problem, the great thing, I will say one thing about the 2016 election, was that it really lit a fire under a lot of people. It lit a fire under people willing to get involved in politics, willing to talk to their legislators, to call, to email, to fax, all of these things. It got a fire lit under people's butts, people's complacent butts, and to get involved. And that includes me. I admit it. I haven't, I used to say, oh, I'm not very political. Yeah, that's because I was lazy. It's part of this mess that equals the idiot in the White House is my fault. Why? Because I wasn't political. Because I didn't stand up for what I wanted. Because I didn't vote. I mean, I voted every time, but I didn't pay attention to the issues. I was lazy. I had white privilege, and I was totally lazy. The good thing about him getting into the White House was that it is lighting people's fires. It is getting more and more women involved in politics and saying, no, I'm going to run. No, I'm going to fight for my choice. No, I'm going to say, finally speak up and do something about it. And that's important. That's huge. A lot of people wouldn't have done that without 45 in the Oval Office. So you have to give him that credit, is that it has spurred people to get off their butts, and I appreciate that. Me included. So it's really important that we participate. I mean, our Constitution is based on we the people. And if we the people are too complacent to do a damn thing, then we the people get what we the people voted for. And I don't like what people voted for, so I'm going to do what I can and speak up. So it is, to be honest, it's a wonderful way to create a legacy. You're absolutely right, Bern. It's time to stand up and be we the people too. The government shutdown happened last night, and I hear people complaining about and saying, oh my gosh, what about the Social Security folks, the folks that live on Social Security? Oh gosh, what about the military? We gotta make sure that they're paid. Okay, guys, let's also think about the civilian government workers. Now, I know a lot of people hear government worker and they think lazy, no account, does nothing. Yeah, the majority of government workers actually aren't like that. There are a few bad apples, kind of like Congress. There's a few bad apples that do nothing, but the majority of government workers actually give a crap and work hard. Hi, Heidi, welcome. And they do. I know because I'm married to one. And they really care. Now, the government shutdown means they don't get paid, right? They didn't strike. They didn't say, we're not going to do this. Congress shut the government down, so these people don't get to go to work, and they don't get paid. Not until the government restarts, right? Here's the other thing that people aren't considering. The things that are shut down: the Bureau of Land Management, the Forest Service, the Social Services, Social Security Administration, the IRS. So they're shutting down the government right now. That means that if you send in your IRS stuff, it won't get processed. You don't get your tax return. Okay? The IRS is part of this government that's being shut down. These are civilian employees. They're not military and they're not Congress. Okay? Nellie says, a PA state workers stop doing their jobs, the state would grind to a halt. We get called lazy too. Right. But the thing is, these civilian workers don't have a choice. They cannot go out and get an interim job to keep the money coming in so they can pay for their bills. They can't do that, because if they do that, they'll get fired from their government job because they're working 2 jobs at once, even if they're not working. Do you understand that? So they don't get paid until the government starts up again. And they can't go out and get an interim work, and they can't get unemployment. So none of their bills get paid. So when people say, oh, we should leave the government shut down until 45 resigns, or until he's impeached. Okay, well, impeachment takes months. So unless you guys are going to start ponying up the money for the government workers' monthly bills, that doesn't work. We need the government to be running, because these people are trying to survive too. And they're not lazy. They didn't quit their jobs when they said, well, the government's shut down. And those jackasses in Congress are getting paid to sit there and whine about who's not partisan. Okay? So he had just started his job. Well, yeah, Nellie, it's terrible. She says she has a friend who falls under the umbrella of government shutdown, and he just started a job. Right. Which means he's not going to get paid. He just started his job. He's not going to get paid. I pray that they come to an agreement come Monday morning so Mr. SM can go back to work. Because honestly, he's not sitting around going, neener, I have a vacation. He doesn't want to be on vacation. He wants to work. And he serves the public, and he means it. He works really hard for the public. He has managed to really whip Wyoming into shape so that it serves the public. And so listening to people say, well, those government workers, they're just, I'm sure they're having a great time. No, they're not. And they can't pay the bills. So let's call our senators, our representatives. Let's get their asses and light them on fire, because we, the people, need them to be doing their jobs. No pay, no benefits. That's exactly it, Vern. And they need to be paid. We're ordinary people. The people that work in the government are we, the people. And they're ordinary people, and they do their job. The majority of them. Now, there's always lazy people. You see them in whatever profession there is. There are lazy people everywhere. But government workers aren't lazier than most. And they do work hard. And they do provide services. So when people start going, oh, they're just so lazy, they don't do anything. No. If the government workers, well, you'll find out. When it's shut down and you can't get stuff done, you can't get stuff done, that's when you start realizing that the government workers aren't really very lazy, and they are working for you, and you get your services because of them. So please please, please encourage your senators, encourage your representatives to get off their butts and go back to work, because it's really important for all of us to pull together. United we stand, divided we fall is a real thing. And so far, what Congress is doing, a Republican-led Congress, a Republican-led Senate, a Republican White House, kind of. They're supposed to be the ones in charge, and they shut down the government. This has nothing to do with Democrats. This has to do with the Republicans playing fast and loose with our government and holding the American people, we the people, hostage. So, put that into perspective. You have control. You being we the people, call your senators, fax them, email them. Don't listen to Senator Cotton who sent a cease and desist letter saying, you can't contact me anymore. No, honey, that's not the way your job works. Get off your ass and do your job. Stop acting like a toddler. So, I have gotten political. Why? Because I am the government, we the people. And I am telling my senators, stop pussyfooting around, get back to work, start learning how to compromise, because the toddler rules don't work. I don't care what 45 says and how he acts. Someone should cut his thumbs off so he doesn't tweet. He needs to be focusing on being the president, not being a beauty pageant winner. Okay? He doesn't need that popularity. Matter of fact, it's hard to be popular when you're president. He needs to be doing his job. He's not, but he needs to be doing his job. And Congress needs to be doing their jobs. So shutting down the government, we the people should be really outraged about that, because it's hurting we the people. So I'm being political because it's important. Toddlers are better behaved than 45 in Congress. You're right. But that's because their mommies are there to smack them around. We have to be the mommies. We have to be like, stop whining and get back to work. You're 70 years old. You know better. Right? A lot of those people in Congress are older than dirt. The lessons they have taught their children is share, learn how to talk to people, be kind, be professional. They've taught all these things, right? But they can't live up to them. So that's what's really important. We need to get a little fire lit under their butts and have them do it. Now, I do understand that there was a deal yesterday that was bipartisan. It wasn't Republican. It wasn't Democrat. It was both. And 45 walked away from it because someone put a bug in his ear and said it's not good enough, or it's not hurtful enough to the American people. Whatever it is that they said, he of course has no backbone, and he doesn't stand up and say, no, the American people want this, and we've got a bipartisan agreement, let's do it. There are days he really frustrates me. Frustrates me so much that as a romance author, I get to make up stories in my head. They're not very pleasant stories for him. But I'm not going to go there. And, he frustrates me that much. So, what have I been doing? Well, I did the walk today, and it was so cool because the crowd was made up of a lot of women, of course, but there were a lot of men. There were a lot of men there standing up and saying, the strong women in my life make me a better man. I believe in equality. I believe in women's rights. I believe in all of this stuff. They were walking with us. They were chanting along with it, going, yeah, this is what democracy looks like. This is what a women's march looks like. This is what equality looks like. And it's important to remember that. So we did that, and then it was great to see, because you got to see friends and neighbors and political activists and, your coworkers and everybody. We all came out. We all did the thing. We chanted, we walked. The cops were really great because they were providing security, and they were really excellent. And so I have to say to the Cheyenne PD, well done. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for your defense. We really appreciate it. You provided a great amount of security, and it was very nice. Originally, we were a little concerned because there had been a threat about Simtex and kind of, nothing that a good rifle wouldn't solve. Yeah, I don't want to hear the fact that women are speaking up. We should shoot them. Okay, someone's a little misogynistic. So in any case, it was really great. The Cheyenne PD did a nice job, and it was a peaceful protest. There was no one, no one screaming obscenities to each other. We did our hike. We went from the depot up to the Supreme Court and then back down, and so it was good. It was good and relatively easy. It was freezing. God, we were cold. One of my favorite signs I got to see was immigration built this nation. And I was like, that's exactly true. All of us were pretty much immigrants. If you go far enough back, we're all immigrants. So there you go. And there were signs for the Native American women, and it was really cool. And of course I got to see my neighbors. I got to see some of my friends. I got to see some of my political friends that, where we get together and we do things politically. It was really cool. It was really cool. And I think that's my favorite thing about this sort of community protest is you get to see the community. And I was great to do that. So, but afterwards, of course, we were freezing. So we hoofed it home, and some of the ladies we'd seen took the muralets to a ballet. So they got to see the ballet of the Four Seasons. The music was the Four Seasons. And I think it's Vivaldi, isn't that? Vivaldi's Four Seasons. And then I sat down and I got some writing done, as well as uploaded some of the pictures from today, and got to see all the people and stuff. And, it was a nice time. I was really grateful that I got to be there. And then, of course, I've been writing. So what have I been doing? Right now, the scene that I'm working on, of course, the book is Deli's Takeout. It is the next book in the Bad Boys of Beta Squad. And I've been writing on essentially a gunfight and a car chase. How cool for the muralets. You may be jealous? Yes. Well, what's really cool is that the ladies they went with, one used to be the former Attorney General for the city, I believe. Is that right? No, I'm sorry, District Attorney for the city of Cheyenne. And the other one was a judge in, I think she was a judge in Lander for a long time. So these women know everybody in Wyoming. They've been here forever. They know everybody in Wyoming. So in any case, they took the muralets and went to have a cultural afternoon. And it was great because I love that we get to share the connection with some of these amazing women. The other thing I like about my neighbor, and I'm not going to name her here because, anonymity is good, but she actually argued a case for Wyoming versus another state. And I in front of the U.S. Supreme Court, and she won. This little lady that I know who lives down the road from me, she argued a case of Wyoming versus another state in front of the U.S. Supreme Court, and she won. Okay, that lady's awesome. Talk about an amazing human being. Yeah, you rock. I am so grateful to know her. She's just amazing. So, I came home, and of course I sat down and I was writing. And small potatoes in comparison to the cool ladies that I know, but yeah, so it was a really good day, and I got to see a lot of people that I hadn't seen in a while, and then I got to sit down and I got to write out a gunfight and a car chase, and hopefully I'll get them out of it. It was going good for a while there, and then I thought, oh, how do we disable the other vehicles, the SUVs that are chasing them? How are we going to do that? Especially because they have automatic weapons. That's not so good. So that's what I've been working on, and it's kind of nice. We're supposed to get a snowstorm tonight, but it was pretty obvious that it was getting cold while we were in the middle of walking, and I'm very grateful to be inside because it's really, really cold out there. Did any of you, as part of my pussy hat here, did any of you attend one of these protests? I saw pictures of Seattle. I saw pictures of, I think, DC. I saw pictures of LA. And then, of course, I saw pictures of places like Pinedale and Jackson Hole and Casper, Wyoming. So, you know, there were women's marches there as well. And, you know, that's always really cool, is to get that you get to see that around even our little tiny state. And by tiny, I'm not talking geographically, I'm talking population-wise. That the people came out and they wanted to make their voices heard. And that's important. So, did any of you, you know, take your time and go out there and lend your voice to these gatherings? I know that the national one is tomorrow, and it's in Las Vegas. I used to live in Vegas, so it's kind of like, right on, Vegas, well done. I have a couple friends that are like, oh yeah, we're going to be downtown. So it's been cool. I didn't see, I saw the map briefly, but I didn't check to see, are they walking down Las Vegas Boulevard? I don't know. I'll have to ask some of my Vegas friends. I didn't know if they were going to do that. Your body responds to cold with intense pain, so no marching, but I'm a social media big mouth. Yay, Chandra! That's, you know, we all have our skills and we all have our abilities, and together as you know, all our voices together really makes a difference. And that includes online. You know, social media obviously is a huge thing. I mean, if you look at how 45 uses it, I'd rather he didn't, but if you look at how he does it, he's been very effective with saying things. Mm-hmm. So, and that's, and honestly, sharing things like on Facebook and Twitter and other social media networks, things like Google Plus and Pinterest and all that stuff, it's been a, I think it's been a blessing in a lot of ways, because, you know, we used to only have telephones and newspapers and TV. Telephones, TV, and newspapers. And there were, while we were walking, I looked up because I saw something in the air and I thought it was a bird. And it turns out it was a drone. And I suspect it was a drone from one of the news outlets. And it was flying over the top of the whole march while we were downtown at the depot. And so it was kind of like, there you go. They're using the drones to broadcast the images of all of us standing there. I tried to make my sign really visible, but who knows? I haven't seen it in any of the pictures, so I guess they haven't caught mine. But a lot of people were like, that's a good one. because I said, karma is a bitch, and she has a long memory. Nasty women vote. We do. When we feel threatened, we will vote for what we want. So there you go. I enjoy doing things like this because it really connects me to my community too, and that makes me happy. That makes me happy. It makes me feel like I'm part of change and things that are, you know, valuable to us as a country, as a whole, not just, you know, one portion of our country. So there you go. I know I've been talking about, well, you know, the title of this is, you know, the Women's March 2018. So, of course, I'm really focused on that. But I have been doing writing. If y'all have read Burning Yuletide, which came out on January 9th, I would love it if you could leave me a review. There are 3 places you can review that are not Amazon. So if Amazon has been telling you, I'm sorry, we have deemed you unworthy to leave reviews on our site, even if they're verified purchases. Well done, Amazon. Screw over your customer base. Nice. If you have trouble leaving reviews on Amazon, which I totally understand, there are 3 other places you can leave reviews. You can leave, as of right now, Amazon has not killed the ability to leave reviews on Goodreads. So you should be able to leave a review on Goodreads for Burning Yuletide. Second place you can leave reviews. BookBub has nothing to do with Amazon. But if you go to BookBub and you write my name in and click on it, you will get a list of my books, and you can leave, now if you click on each book, you can leave a review for that particular book. So they have a review feature, and it's actually really awesome, and so if you want to leave reviews there, I'm all good with that. The last place you can go is called Three Lakes Books. It's my label. It's where, most all my books are published through Three Lakes Books. You can go to Three Lakes Books, click on the store, go to SiobhanMuir.com and click on TLB store, Three Lakes Bookstore, right? And it'll bring up all my books, and you can click on each book and leave a review. There's now a review section for them. And I'm like going, so, and here's the other thing you might not know. When you go to Three Lakes Books, you can actually get my books for a discount. You will not find this discount anywhere else, just on Three Lakes Books. So, there's something to consider. If you like to get books discounted, if you're in the UK, you can't, but you can change your location to USA, and then you can. Oh, you mean you can't leave reviews at BookBub, Heidi? Is that what you're saying? Unless you say it from USA. Okay, well, listen to Heidi. She's in the UK, but if you change your location to the USA, apparently you can leave a review. So on BookBub. So that's, like I said, those are three places. Goodreads, you can leave it no matter where. And the same thing with Three Lakes Books. If you want to leave a review at Three Lakes Books, you don't have to be in any particular part of the world. You can do it from the UK, you can do it from Australia, you can do it from Germany, you can do it from Norway, you can do it from Denmark, you can do it from Peru, or Nicaragua, or Canada, or Russia. You can do it from anywhere. In the US. You can totally leave a review from anywhere. And I do appreciate that, because I don't like Amazon playing games with reviewers. That's not funny. And it's not cool. Because these people went and bought the damn book from your site, and now they can't review it? Who thought that was a great marketing idea? That person should be fired. I mean, seriously. So, I'm offering you ways to get around it. If Amazon is going to be a punk about this, then you're more than welcome to come to Three Lakes Books, Goodreads, or BookBub and leave a review. And trust me, we want your reviews. Oh, and Heidi says I've been using Evernight. Yeah, Evernight is a publisher, and you can buy their stuff there too. On Three Lakes Books, you can get all of my books in any format, right? There's PDF, there's PDB, I think. There is LRF, there's EPUB, and there's Mobi. So you can get 5 different kinds of formats, depending on your e-reader. And they're all there, and you have that opportunity. So, yeah, I'm not buying the whole Amazon is king anymore. And I don't like how they treat authors, and I don't like how they treat readers. Y'all don't need to deserve, you don't deserve that. Because you buy their stuff. Why are they suddenly telling you can't review? All right, well, soapbox, there you go. I am working on, so if you have read Burning Yuletide, please leave a review. If you have read, there's a new book coming out. It's in a box set. There's going to be a bunch of us. And it comes out in March. I don't have the exact date yet, and I can't share the cover quite yet because they had to make some alterations on it. But there's a new book coming out, and you will actually get a new Cloudburst, Colorado story coming out. It's a full-length novel, so it's not like you're going to get skimped on that one. Right now it's with the editor, so there you go. The other thing I want to let you know is that, like I said, I'm working on Deli's takeout, and then I started thinking about Courting the Dragon Widow. It's written, but it needs some significant rewrites. So we'll see if I get into cleaning up that one. Otherwise, I'm just going to do Firefighters and Ultimate Recon. I haven't figured out which one I'm doing, but Firefighters and Ultimate Recon. Oh, it looks like there's an error going on in my feed. So if that's the case, I do apologize. I'm wondering if there's a problem with you can't stream longer than 30 minutes. I don't know. In any case, if you can still see me, I hope you guys are having a good weekend. It's not warm where I'm at. I'm freezing. Which is why I'm drinking hot chai, and I have my my angry cat hat on my head. But I will get back into writing tonight. I'm hoping to get some more written, because it's really starting with the action adventure, and then I can throw in the romance, because they've already had some time together. So there you go. Anyway, so that's what I'm working on, and there are stories coming. Don't worry, you're not going to be left like, Sean, aren't you going to produce anything? Yes, ma'am, I am. It's cold in the UK. All right. Well, there you go. It's cold in the UK too. It's we're supposed to get snow tonight. 3 to 6 inches, I think. We'll see. In the morning, I'll let you know if it is snowed, because tomorrow, of course, I do the Sunday morning tea in between the hours of 10 a.m. Mountain and 11 a.m. Mountain. So that would be 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 p.m. Eastern. And I probably won't be wearing my hat, but I will be wearing like my robe, because if it's that cold, yeah, I'll be dressed for it. But I hope to see you tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, then I will definitely see you next weekend for the Saturday Evening Soliloquy on SMTV, which is on YouTube. And it's live, and I love talking to you guys. Thank you guys for showing up and interacting with me and asking me questions and stuff like that. It's finally a little warm in Tennessee. Oh, that's good. I heard you guys were really getting pummeled with the cold, which was weird. It's like Wyoming was warmer than you? What? How does that work? So I hope you have a good night. Thank you for joining me. See you tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you next weekend from 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central, and 7 p.m. Eastern. That way you know, for the SMTV, Saturday Evening Soliloquy. And, yeah, have a good night. I will see you in the morning, and I'm sure I'll have something to talk about. So have a good night, and I'll talk to you later.